Good evening, Facebook world.
Okay.
This is Elphie Coyle with Jason Chen. How you doing, Jason?
Good. How are you, Elphie?
I'm very well this evening. Jason is the co-author with myself on this book, The Financial Freedom Formula, how to create or transform your business into your passive income machine. And so what we're talking about today is we're going to be talking about how to basically reverse your vicious spiral. So we talk in the book about the vicious spiral being this thing where you're just like spiraling out of control, getting into further and further debt. The interest is starting to pack on. Your mindset can go out the window because you know you're just going deeper and deeper in a hole. And many of us have been in that space. I've been in that space, over the years. And so there's some fundamental things that we can cover that we do talk a lot about in the book here, but we can definitely give a few here to start off with today to get you started in actually reversing that spiral. So we are actually doing a workshop this weekend that I'll be running called the Financial Freedom Formula Fundamentals, which is where we get to actually have a gamified environment and you sit down and get to reverse your spiral of debt and basically become financially free in a microcosm where you start your own little business and stuff and buy different investments and become financially free. So let's kick into it though. And guys, if you have any questions, please put them on in the comments down below, and we might feature a couple of those questions and answer them while we're here on this Facebook Live. So Jason, tell me, man, if I'm financially falling down the proverbial restroom toilet, what do I do?
Well, it sounds simple, but you definitely have to cut your expenses. And, you may or may not have to look at also increase your income in some way. I mean, it's simple, but I'm sure a lot of people know that already. But I think it's the reasons behind the scenes about why you haven't actually gone ahead and done, actually taken that action. And, it makes me think of a critical distinction from Robert Kiyosaki about liabilities. People buy stuff that actually causes them to be in more, take on more financial burden.
Like a car, what would that be?
Like a car. If cars are great because they improve your quality of life, they get stuff done, but you only need a basic car to do that. But if you go out and buy a car that's outside of your financial means at the time, you might take on some debt, and there's interest with that debt, and that means every month you're going to be paying back this loan, and it's that's an increase in your expenses that your income may not be able to sustain at the time.
So yeah, there's an interesting distinction there around knowing your assets, knowing your liabilities, knowing your income, and knowing your expenses. So they're the four categories we actually cover in the Financial Freedom Formula Fundamentals experience, and it's just so true with life, right? Like a lot of the time we don't have any idea on how much something is actually costing us, what do our debts actually incur, how much interest is there, those kind of things that we kind of avoid as just sort of almost like just too technical or what have you. It doesn't take much once you started to actually start to track that properly and to be able to get that under control. Yeah.
Yeah, have a good look at, actually sit down and look at what's coming in and what's going out, and if in the future, if that's going to be repeating for the next few weeks or next few months, and it's a negative, if it works out that your expenses are going to be greater, then you're going to be in trouble for a while. So you need to take some action. Yeah.
Cool. And so actually cutting back on those things, making those sort of lifestyle changes in the short term to be able to give you a better long term. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. That's good. So yeah, guys, if you've got any questions, I've seen a few people come on board here. We've had about 11 people coming on here. So welcome to everybody. Just say hi. Even just let us know you're here and you're watching, and yeah, we'd love to answer any questions you might have about this particular topic. So what else do we got?
Who's connected?
Yeah, sure. So we can't. We'll see basically people comment down below. So that's why we know there's a few people looking at the cast right now. But for us to know who you are, please just say hello down below, and then we can know who's watching and perhaps engage with you guys a bit more. So anything else there, Jason, for people to actually start to reverse their vicious spiral? See, I think a lot of people they sort of have these great ideas and they're like, yeah, I've got this business that's going to change the world, and it's got this and this and this, and the person, you know, is barely got any kind of handle on their personal finances. So I say that, you know, if you have a business, it will exponentialize you, right, and your situation. So if you're terrible with money and you don't get a little bit of a handle on that, at least the foundation's right, then it's just going to cause you more problems later on. And I'm particularly guilty with this. I've lost much money over the years because I haven't gotten these fundamentals right, and I've run out with this amazing idea, started this great business, but then, you know, some of that money that's coming in. So we've got Kenneth Law joining us. Hey, Kenny. He's watching and taking notes. That's cool, brother. So yeah, if you got a question, mate, we would love to answer it. This is a chance to tap into both of the authors of this beautiful little book here, and which hasn't happened before. This is the first time Jason and I have done an interview cast together. But welcome to the cast, Kenny. So anything else you want to share there, Jason? Hello, Jason. Think you just dropped out there for a second, mate. I'll just double check. Meantime, I suppose I can have a little chat. Alrighty. Jason's coming back on board. Welcome back. Thank you for your patience, people, while we have these technical difficulties. Yeah. All right. So while Jason's just coming back in there, I'll just mention a little bit out of this book. So we actually have a whole part dedicated to this. Now, the thing is about this part is this is part A, you know, the vicious spiral, and you know, I say at the start of this: reverse your vicious spiral by applying a collective measure of hope, prudence, and disciplined action equal to or greater than the collective momentum of despair, recklessness, and procrastination that got you there in the first place. So, you know, speaking from experience, you know, when I've been in my vicious spirals over the years, and just being financially free, by the way, doesn't mean you don't end up in vicious spirals. Hello, Jason. Welcome back, mate. I was just sharing with the guys now that yeah, just because you're financially free doesn't mean you don't still have vicious spirals and start losing money. But the things that do come in there is, you know, there's this sense of just, well, it doesn't matter. I'm losing money anyway. So what's a little bit more? And it really does matter. That money does catch up with you. There are ways and means of, you know, collapsing companies and declaring bankruptcy and stuff. But you don't want to have to do that if you can avoid it.
Yeah, there's a lot of negative stuff that comes along with being in the vicious cycle, especially you're talking about bankruptcy. If you declare bankruptcy, you're not going to be able to be a director of a company for about 5 years, I think, and you're going to have a bad mark on your credit score. I think following on from that, there is this, like I've been in the vicious cycle before. When I was starting my an online company selling an ebook I created for teaching English, and you know, at the time you think, oh, it's a super great idea, right? Like you're gonna do really well with this idea. You know, everyone's buying stuff online now, and I've got this Tim Ferriss book that's teaching me how to do it all the right way. But I found myself at the time, you know, my relationship with money, being in a vicious cycle, was that I'm losing money every month, and you know, I can't really spend this on, you know, something might come up, and I probably should spend a bit more money to test, you know, a great idea out, but I can't really afford it, and so I stop myself halfway. I don't really give it the the money that it needs. And then if you approach other people with that kind of feeling within you, they can also feel it. And so they're less likely to want to work together with you on whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep, exactly. So there's just so many impacts on not treating it with the care that it deserves, right? Yeah, cool. So we're almost done on time here. So any final thoughts for people that are looking to reverse their vicious spiral?
Well, I think we cover the main thing, which is, you're really going to have to sit down and look at what's coming in, what's going out, and then take responsibility for that. And, it's only going to be yourself that's going to be able to make a difference there. And you can, there are negative impacts of staying in that, in the vicious cycle. And hopefully everyone makes the commitment to get out of the vicious cycle.
Yeah, that's the thing. It might not seem sexy to be looking at those numbers, but yeah, the impact both in your immediate situation and then ongoingly as well. So you're able to earn so much more money. A lot of the time when we don't have a diligent approach to finances, when we make more money, we spend more money, and it doesn't have to be that way. And in fact, one of the ways you start to snowball your wealth is to not spend that money when you make more money, is to put that money to work, even if it's in some shares in an index of on the stock market. That's going to do better for you than buying that car or buying that house. Look at that kind of thing and just look at the areas of.
Can I add another point here?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, just following on from what you're saying. You're saying if you can invest that money or you can save that money, instead of, if you look at someone's situation, they might have a high income, but they haven't got anything saved. So they're relying on their time so that they can earn more money. And then once they stop working, that money stops flowing in. However, if they can save some of the money, they could be on a high income, save a big portion of that, and if over the years they'll have enough money to invest in maybe a business or maybe some shares or some property, and let's say it's property, then this property can start to give them rent, and they're on the way into the virtuous cycle, because they've now got some assets that are giving them positive cash flow that they haven't connected, that's not connected to their personal time.
That's right, that passive positive cash flow. Yeah, starting to invest in things that make you money rather than cost you money over the long run. So, Kenneth just asked, what's the name of the book again? It is called The Financial Freedom Formula. There it is. And there's the formula for anyone who's interested. So, yes. All right, mate. Well, thank you so much for your time, Jason. Looking forward to seeing some of you guys who are curious to learn more in an interactive environment this Sunday from 10 till 6. The workshop is currently at 75% off because we're iterating on it and improving it as we're going, and really appreciating your feedback when, for those of you who are coming, so we can make this workshop better every time. Anything else, Jason?
No, that's about it.
Great.
See you at the workshop.
Hello. Yeah, we'll see you this weekend. Thank you so much, Jason, for your time, and thank you to Joseph and Kenneth, some of you guys joining us on the cast. We love getting your interaction and being able to create a conversation. So all the best, everyone. We'll put the links to the workshop down below. Take care. Have fun.
All right, thanks, Elphie.
See you guys.